or communities.
If you have ever known someone who has had to fight for their Social Security disability benefits, you know that fight is the operative word. But this is Chris Gentry. He is here with the McMahan Law Firm, and he's happy to take up that fight for his clients. So nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
It's a sad thing to admit, but that really is kind of true. I'm sure you see it every day when you're in court, that there are people who have an attorney on their side. They get a lot farther more quickly than those who don't.
That's right. I mean, doing a Social Security hearing without an attorney is a recipe for disaster.
Why? Because of the federal bureaucracy?
Really because of all of it. You know, you have kind of a multi-step process for Social Security disability. The first two steps involve administrative reviews done at a state agency in whatever state you're in. While there's no hearing there, an attorney and what we do at McMahan Law Firm can help your case there. It can also take the burden off of somebody because there you have to file appeals, you have to produce paperwork, you have to do things that we help you with and make the life easier there. In the end, most of these cases will end up at a hearing in front of a judge. And if you're in front of a judge, you absolutely 100% should have a lawyer. It will make all the difference in the world. I have never recommended to anybody that they try to do a disability hearing without an attorney. And of course, what attorney you choose will have a big impact on what the ultimate result of that case is.
Okay, we'll talk about you specifically in just a second, but yeah, I think you told me something before we got on air, and that is, because often, and you've probably heard this, the average awarding time period is about 2 years. You wait about 2 years before you get that, what am I looking for?
Yeah.
Verdict from the court?
That's right, decision is what we call it. 2 years is an average. Really, 2 years is an average for when you'll go to your hearing. Now, after your hearing, it'll be a couple of months before you actually receive your benefits. But as I was telling you, you know, it can be longer, it can be shorter. It has a lot of factors going on. What we try to do is every step along the way, make it a little bit more efficient, make it a little bit faster. But most importantly, when you get to that day in court, whether it's been 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, make sure it's successful when you're there.
You were telling me of a case just the other day where you were in court and your client had been able to get there in 1 year. Somebody else in that courtroom, it had been 3.
That's true. And they were both my clients.
Oh, they were both your clients.
Both were approved for benefits, so we won both hearings. And it was interesting because one person had filed about a year ago. We were able to get them to a hearing and win that hearing within a year. And the other person, for whatever reason, had filed 3 years ago. We still won that hearing as well. But it just goes to show you there's some things about the federal bureaucracy that you cannot control. What file your case, whose desk it gets put on, how fast it's processed. There are some things that just are unpredictable about it. But 2 years is the general time frame for Tennessee. It takes a little longer in Georgia, actually.
It is a federal program, so it means that you can practice in Tennessee, Georgia, you can go into Alabama, is that right?
That's right. I've done a lot of hearings in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, as well as Florida, South Carolina, and North Carolina. I'm licensed in Tennessee and Georgia, but yes, it's a federal program and I can represent people anywhere they need me to go.
You mentioned the importance of having a local attorney. When you're going before the judge, is there always just one judge in our district or are there a multitude?
That's an interesting question. There are a multitude, but the multitude is getting smaller. So we used to have over 10 judges there. And I just learned yesterday that we're going to be down to 4, okay? So there are less and less judges. What impact that will have on wait times remains to be seen, but it is very important that you have a representative that is familiar with not just the process generally, but your specific judges locally. I know all of them extremely well. I've appeared in front of all of them hundreds of times for probably 10 plus years.
When something happens and someone is needing to file Social Security disability, life is not ideal. I mean, very often it's after an accident of some sort or a difficulty, right? So when in the process of your healing and recovery do you file for that disability?
Well, the first critical element of when you should file for disability is, are you working? All right, so if you're working, you're not eligible for Social Security disability. But when you aren't working, then the question does become, when should you do it? The answer is really, it's better to be proactive filing these applications than it is to wait. I would never wait more than 3 to 6 months after I have not been working to file a disability application because the process is so long. There's no filing fee for it. If you get better, you can always withdraw an application. But what you could never do is what I tell my clients, you never get back in a time machine and go back and say, hey, I wish I'd filed that 3 months ago, 6
Right.
months ago, 9 months ago. It's better to be proactive to protect yourself than it is to sit around and wait.
Do you need some kind of a doctor's note saying this person can no longer work?
No, not to file. Evidence like that can be important when it comes time to adjudicate the case in front of a judge. Your underlying treatment notes will always be the most important thing on every case, but no, the best thing you can do if you have questions is to come see someone like me. I meet with all of my clients. I have a meeting with them when we start to go over the case with them to see if there's merit there. And sometimes I tell people, you know what, I don't think this is really the right path. Many times then I say, hey, this is what we need for the case, and this is the kind of evidence we're going to need, and this is what the process is going to look like. So just my recommendation is always be proactive about it.
Once in the course of the waiting, the 1 to 3 years, hopefully the 1 year side of things, your office is then there for them to call and ask questions and get some encouragement along the way?
Absolutely. More than just encouragement, we can pretty much take the burden completely off of somebody. Obviously, the wait creates a financial stress for people, and many of these people are also in physical discomfort, emotional discomfort anyway. So being able to take that burden of the Social Security paperwork, the filing, the appeals, all of that stuff, getting your medical records together, taking that off your plate is really important. But yes, what we do is we take a case wherever it is and we take it to the finish line. If you come to me and you just stopped working and you need me to file your application for you, I'll do it. If you went in front of a judge and you said, I got in front of that judge and the judge said, you need a lawyer, and you came to me, I'll just go ahead and do the hearing with you. So in every which way in between, we will pick up the case wherever you are and take you to the finish line.
All right, here's where you can find him. His name is Chris Gentry. He's with the McMahan Law Firm down on Cherokee Boulevard, 423-265-1100. And of course, the website, McMahanLawFirm.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Trevor. Welcome to the Hemp House. Let me show you where the treats are.
Our selection of